Hey everyone, my name is Jose Baeza with EfundingExperts. Welcome to this video. Well, we specialize in raising capital for entrepreneurs. That's the number one thing. We provide capital and we figure out ways on how to actually get the money for our client, whether it be through crowdfunding, private investing, term loans, credit lines, working capital through collateralized funding. We have multiple lenders. We have over 150 lenders and partnerships in which we can provide access to capital. And that's what we provide. We provide solutions. Well, EfundingExperts stands for Entrepreneur Funding Experts. And that's because from experience, we know where to go. And so the funding is part of everything. I mean, you go to a Walmart or any other type of store, they started with investors, they started with money, and it comes with funding. So Entrepreneur Funding Experts, it's all three in one. So ideally, we deal with entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, backgrounds, you name it. We're all in this together. As entrepreneurs, you look at a child or maybe a kid that is in the corner wanting lemonade, and he's an entrepreneur. And in today's era, kids and adults, of course, can start a business literally in their home. There's no reason as to why somebody cannot go after their dreams, after their goals. So for us, we fund entrepreneurs. If you have access to if you want access to capital and you have either a 680 FICO score, you have or simply revenue, if that lemonade stand is doing over $5,000 a month, there's access to money. So my inspiration to become an entrepreneur really comes from my family. And my father and my mother, they would always work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. I've seen them grow up. I've seen them as I grew up with so many different jobs. And it wasn't because they weren't good or anything of that nature. They just wanted they wanted a better life for me. And as I saw them go through job after job after job, coming home exhausted, I wanted to do something where I could give back to the community, but also give back to my family. So entrepreneurship was the career, the path that I chose in order for me to achieve my goals, my dreams, and in the process help everyone around me. So I learned about this business when I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I tried everything from network marketing companies to insurance and you name it, all in between. By me going through this process of funding, I realized that everybody needed funding. Everybody needed money to get started. Nonprofits needed money. And so as I came more allocated with the industry through credit card processing, I started being known for funding because I'm very witty and I can figure out solutions to problems that many people have. And I know I have access to people. And as I gained more access to people, I started being recognized as the funding guru, I guess. And the more and more I did it, the more the company grew. And today we have raised over $100 million and going. So the idea for my business really took years, and this is why. An idea is something that's living. An idea is something that is like a child. It starts as a baby and it keeps growing as a toddler, then a teenager, and then as an adult. It never really ends. But the idea came from back when I was trying to figure out what kind of entrepreneur I wanted to be. That's pretty much how it all started. It started as simply just a seed of innovation, of trying to figure out, hey, where is this money coming from? Where is the money? Where's the money? and that's how it grew. I personally chose an LLC, and that's because it is more suited for my type of business. A lot of people would go for an S Corp, C Corp, but I highly recommend you talk to your accountant to see what's best suited for me. Because I have just one business partner, it was better allocated to do an LLC. It's not that a bank or investor required it for me. It certainly did help. I personally created a business plan, but the difference is that nobody asked for it. I simply had it. One of my mentors said, "What gets written gets done." And that's true. What gets written does get done. So if you have a business, then you better have a business plan. Not because others are going to need it, but rather because you are going to need it. Our location is really centered around the Chicagoland area, but we fund businesses all over the United States. But our offices are located in Chicago because I'm a Chicago person. I love Chicago. That's where I grew up, and that's where I'll stay for now. We are thinking about expanding to Miami and perhaps even an office over in LA, but for now we're in Chicago. I was able to finance it through simply my own money, and that's because, again, I started off working regular jobs. I started side businesses where eventually I had enough money to get things going. You don't need a lot of money to get things going through funding, and that's how we personally have allocated an affiliate program in which it allows you to earn income without you having to have a funding business. You can simply refer business to us, and you will get paid up to 2% of the amount that gets funded, depending on the deal. But that alone, that's how I got started. It's as a broker, I started off sending out deals and moving on, and then eventually now I can fund my own deals, and I have partners that can go in on deals, and we still also send a lot of international deals as well. So the hardest part of starting the business is really trying to go stand up after you get turned down. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of challenges that goes within the business. Number one, lead acquisition, marketing. Then you got your internal affairs, such as your employees. So for me to learn a lot of that from the ground up, without any mentors per se about those particular topics, it was very challenging. I learned to look for mentors. The moment that I see a challenge or a problem, I look and I seek for help, because there's nothing wrong in seeking for help. So my business really wasn't about breaking even, but rather about just expanding. Keep in mind that within funding, you can literally do this from home if you wanted to, but it really depends on the size of your dream and the size of how much of an impact you want to make in the world. You could easily refer business to us and you can get paid, let's say $2,000, and the investment on that is not too much, because if it's somebody that you referred over and let's say you have a home office, of course the investment is going to be very minimum. For me, that's how I started. So as I kept continuing to grow, I started getting more income, and obviously I reinvested that into the business, where we have multiple offices now in the Chicagoland area. But realistically, it took me less than a year. The most important element is being flexible with our clients' needs. So our clients come from all over the country. Some people come with bad credit, some people come with good credit, some people come with no collateral, some people have collateral. So the ability to be flexible with our clients' needs is really what drives our success. We have our credit restoration program, we have affiliate programs, we have so many different programs that will help you get the money that you're looking for. We even have programs that are aimed at people with less than a 600 credit score. Looking back, what I would have done differently is pretty much just being able to search for mentors quicker without having to try and figure it out myself. looking for mentors is very essential to any business, and that's something that I would have loved to kind of learned quicker. The biggest opportunities is the society today. Today is everything quick. There's no reason why you can't go out and start a business. There's no reason why you can't go out and get the money that you're looking for. Everything's fast. In today's society, there's an abundance amount of opportunities out there that it's just a matter of taking aim and riding the wave, and then keep riding the wave for another thing that comes in. I mean, you look at Turo, you look at Airbnb, Bitcoin, you name it. These are all companies that are worth billions in certain occasions and millions of dollars. But yet, again, it was all started within less than 10 years, less than 5 years, in certain occasions less than 3 years. So one of the most important characteristics to being a successful entrepreneur is being coachable. If you're not coachable, you can't learn. And I come across a lot of business partners that are not coachable. A lot of associates that are not coachable, a lot of clients that are not coachable. Keep in mind, we're all entrepreneurs. And if you're not coachable, you can't grow because you think you got all the answers. If you have all the answers, then you should go out and do it yourself. But in this world, we all need other people. That's just the way it is. So the advice that I would give to an inspiring entrepreneur is not to give up. Not to give up, because things are not always going to work the way you want them to. But you have to remember, everything always works out to your advantage. And it may be hard to believe, but that's just the way it works. And don't give up. The most challenging part of being an entrepreneur is focus. Focus, because when you're an entrepreneur, you get all these ideas. There's like, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. And then the moment that you start making a little bit of money, you can think about a different idea, and then all of a sudden now you can say, what if I invest in this? Or what if I go in on this? Yes, you can certainly do that. The only challenge is that as entrepreneurs, whatever you focus on expands. So if you focus on a business, it will grow. If you focus on something else, keep in mind that focus is going somewhere else. So that doesn't mean that you can't focus on multiple things at a time. It just means that you have to be really good at what you do, and then you have to you can go ahead and focus on something else. But focus is super important. What you focus on expands. If you put some of that focus into something else, again, that something else might grow. But then the other part, if you don't have the right infrastructure in place, it might take a toll. It's the freedom to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want. You can go out with a family, travel all over the world, and not have to worry about clocking in. The only challenging thing is that even though you do have that option, it is an option, because you have to be able to manage your time. And the more efficient that you're able to managing your time, the more you can take advantage of those opportunities. But for me, I could easily be somewhere in Hawaii or whatnot. But again, all of that is a little bit of a deposit that gets taken back, because whenever you're not working on your business, then somebody else has to work on your business, whether it be your employees, your business partners. And if you don't have the right infrastructure in place, it might be good for a couple years, perhaps even months, but long term, it wouldn't be sustainable, because you still need to put that effort, that heart that goes into your business. I would say everything's going to be okay. I would call myself a little bit detail-oriented, a perfectionist. I want to have everything the way that it needs to be correct. But the problem is that it doesn't always happen that way. And I remember I would get really frustrated. So I would just say, be patient. My business has not been close to failing. The reason why I can't say, now keep in mind that I've started many businesses before and they have certainly failed. That's why I keep saying don't give up. But the thing is that the more that you keep on going, the more you learn from your mistakes, the more you learn from past experiences, and the more that you get to grow. I'm blessed enough with this business that I was able to learn from my previous experiences, from my previous failures, to make it right for not only the clients, but also for myself and also for our employees. Absolutely. We're looking to expand right now. We're looking to do Florida, perhaps California. We're actually going into an investments with Airbnb right now, and in the process, so that's kind of one of the things that we're looking at, other areas that we can expand not only in the funding but other investments that we have. So thank you for joining me, you guys. This is Jose Baeza with EfundingExperts. If you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to send me an email at jb@EfundingExperts.com, or you can also visit my website or our website at www.EfundingExperts.com, and you can feel free to chat with either myself or one of my consultants at the live chat that goes directly to us, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Talk to you soon.